Hello everyone, welcome to the another lecture of alcohol, phenols and ethers, class 12. Myself Suman Singh. So in the last class we have discussed about the preparation of alcohol, right? So today we are going to discuss about the physical and the chemical properties of alcohol. So when we talk about the physical properties of alcohol, first is what? Physical state. Okay, first one is physical state. Okay, so when we talk about the physical state at ordinary temperature, the lower member are lower member of alcohol are colorless liquid. Okay, and having a characteristic smell and burning taste. Okay, now when we talk about the higher member having more than 12 carbon atom, they are generally colorless, odorless or wax like solid. Okay, now next is what? Boiling point. Next is boiling point. So when we talk about the boiling point, so boiling point of alcohol are much higher than their corresponding allopathic or hydrocarbons or halogens. Okay, for example, you can see here, suppose we are taking the example of CH4. Let me change the color. Suppose we are taking the example of CH4 or CS3Cl or CS3 OH. Okay, so when you will compare this, the CH4, its boiling point is 90 Kelvin, whereas for CS3Cl this is 249 Kelvin, and for CS3OH that is 337.5 Kelvin, like this. Okay, so this boiling point of alcohol are much higher than their corresponding allopathic hydrocarbons or halogens. Okay, so why this their boiling point is higher? Because there is a large difference in electronegativity between oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, because in alcohol there is oxygen and hydrogen, right? So since there is a large difference in electronegativity of oxygen and hydrogen, so as a result what will happen? The oxygen and hydrogen bond is what? Strongly polar, right? And forms hydrogen bond in alcohol, right? Now because of this hydrogen bond in alcohol, these exist as an associated molecules rather than a distinct molecule, right? So you can see the example I will give you. If we can take the example like this, suppose we have R here, we have O here, here is hydrogen. Okay, again like this, and here oxygen, here R, here again hydrogen, and here like this, and again oxygen, hydrogen and R, like this. So this one is what? Here you will see there is a partial positive charge, here also partial negative charge, here again partial positive charge, and again partial negative charge. So this bond, this is called what? This is a hydrogen bond, right? So because there is a large difference in electronegativity of oxygen and hydrogen, the oxygen and hydrogen is strongly polar and form what? Hydrogen bond in alcohol. And because of this hydrogen bond in alcohol, they exist as an associated molecules rather than a distinct molecule, as you can see the example here, right? Now what we can say, the amount of energy is needed to break this extensive hydrogen bond and is high. Okay, and that is why the boiling point is high. Okay, and we can also note that alcohols have generally higher boiling point as compared to their isomeric ethers and some of the same molecular mass. Suppose we are taking the example of if we are taking the example of ethyl alcohol. Okay, ethyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, and okay, if we are taking the example of dimethyl ether, dimethyl ether, if you're taking the example of this, you will see that both this ethyl alcohol has molecular mass 46, right? And dimethyl ether is also a molecular mass 46. But when you see the boiling point or boiling point, it has a boiling point of 351 Kelvin for ethyl alcohol, but whereas dimethyl ether is 248 Kelvin. Okay, 248 Kelvin. You can see 351 and 480 48, right? Now, we can also tell like this that the lower member have a low boiling point, but with the increase in the number of carbon atom, or we can say the molecular mass, the boiling point of or we can say that the boiling point order will be like this: primary will be after that secondary, after that tertiary. Okay, it will be more, after that this, and this after that this. Okay, and this is because why? There is an increase in the van der Waals forces. Okay, and if we are taking the same number of carbon atom, the boiling point will follow this order. Okay, now, or one more thing, if you talk about the branching. Okay, if we talk about the branching, then butane 2-ol, or we can say that 2-methyl propane 1-ol. So when you will see that there will be a gradually decrease in the boiling point. As you can see, for butane 1-ol it is something like 391 Kelvin, like this. But for 2-methyl propane 1-ol, this is something like 381 Kelvin. Okay, so you can see the gradual increase. Okay, so what we can say, the, uh, due to the fact that with the branching the surface area decreases, right? And therefore the van der Waals decreases, and consequently what will happen, the boiling point will also decrease. Okay, so this was about the boiling point. Now next we will talk about the solubility. So when we talk about the solubility, we know that the lower member are highly soluble in water, but the solubility decreases with the increase in molecular weight. Okay, so we know that the solubility of lower alcohol in water is what? Why? In alcohol, the solubility of lower alcohol in water is due to the formation of hydrogen bond between alcohol and water molecules. Okay, now when we talk about the size of the alcohol molecule, the size of the as the size of the alcohol molecule increases, what will happen, the alkyl group become larger, right? As the size of the alcohol molecule increases, what will happen, the alkyl group become larger, right? And prevent the formation of hydrogen bonding with water molecules, right? So what will happen at that time, the solubility will go on in decreasing with increase in the length of carbon chain. Okay, when you talk about the stability solubility, we will see n butyl alcohol, I'm writing in the short form, right? And if you're talking about n pentyl n and pentyl alcohol, when you see that solubility, so its n butyl solubility is something like 7.9, but when we see the n pentyl alcohol, it is something like 2.3. So you can see that there is a large difference in solubility, right? So why it is happening? Because the because the alkyl group become larger and larger. So what, when the alkyl group will become larger, at that time it will prevent the formation of hydrogen bond, right? And prevent the hydrogen formation of hydrogen bond with water molecules, and hence what will happen, the solubility goes on decreasing with the increase in the length of the carbon chain, right? So I hope you have understood this, right? Now next is when we talk about the density. So when we talk about the density, so density is generally what will happen, the alcohol are lighter than water. Okay, but the density increases with the increase in molecular mass, right? Now toxicity, when we talk about intoxicity or intoxicating effect, at that time we will see that alcohol have an intoxicating effect, and methanol is very poisonous, and it is not good for drinking purpose. If we are accidentally or by chance, if you are inhaling the methanol, so it will also cause death. Okay, because it is a very dangerous and very poisonous. Okay, and but the ethanol we are using for a drinking purpose. Okay, so this was, I hope you have understood this. This was all about the physical property of alcohol, everything is given here as you can see here, right? Now next is chemical property. So when we talk about the chemical property, according to your syllabus, we have to see the acidic nature of alcohol. Okay, after that reaction with sodium esterification, and a reaction with hydrogen halide. After that reaction with PCl5, PCl3 and SOCl2. After that reducing with acid chloride and acid anhydride, oxidation and dehydration. Okay, so according to this we have to see this, or again after that conversion of one alcohol to another, and distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol by Lucas test. So these are the something which is given in your syllabus. So one by one we will see. First is reaction with acidic metal or acidic character. Okay, so when we talk about a reaction with acid or acidic character, always remember that alcohol is are weakly acidic in nature, right? And they react with metals. It is not like this. Then since they are very weakly acidic in nature, then it will not react with the metal, but it will react with some of the metals like sodium, potassium and aluminum. Okay, at that time it will liberate hydrogen gas and form metal alkoxide. Okay, if you are taking the example of sodium, suppose if you are taking here ethanol, C2H5OH, and if you are reacting with this sodium to Na, if you are reacting with sodium to Na, so at that time it will form what? Sodium ethoxide, and hydrogen gas will come out from here to CH3 CH2ONA. Okay, ONA plus H2 will come out from here. As you can see, this is what this is, sodium ethoxide, right? So it will liberate, what will happen here, it will liberate hydrogen gas and it will form a metal alkoxide. As you can see here, it is forming ethoxide and hydrogen gas will come out from here. It is same thing will happen in the case of magnesium also. It will form magnesium ethoxide. Okay, and if we are taking aluminium, at that time it will form aluminium tetrabutoxide. Okay, now when we see this reaction, when we have seen this here, ethanol react with Na, in the above reaction we have seen that the alcohol are acidic in nature, right? And alcohol act as a what? Bronsted acid. Okay, why? Because they donate proton to a strong base, right? That is why we have seen what we have in the above example, what I have shown you. There we have seen that alcohol is what? They are acidic in nature, but right? And this alcohol is behaving as a what? Bronsted acid, because they donate proton to a strong base. As you can see the example, I will give you one example. Suppose we have alcohol like this, R O and H. Okay, so here is a like this. So suppose one base is here. If there is a base here, okay, so what will happen here? This will donate its electron to this. We know that base attack to hydrogen, right? And this will come out from here. At that time what will form? It will form what? Alkoxide ion, which is RO negative, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 here, right? And it will form what? Conjugate base, which is BNH, right? It is what? Sorry, it is what? Conjugate acid, and it is what? This is a conjugate base, right? So I hope you are understanding this. So alcohol will act as a Bronsted acid because they give what? They donate a proton to a strong base, right? Now if we are talking about on a reaction with acid, or we can on reacting with this alkoxide with water, if this alkoxide will react with water, the starting alcohol will obtain. As you can see, when we are taking the base, suppose R dash O, like this. Okay, so if it is reacting with water, H2O, so at that time it will form conjugate acid, which is ROH. Okay, and conjugate base, that is OH, will come out from the reaction. Okay, so why it is happening? This reaction shows that the water is a better proton donor than alcohol, right? As you can see here, in this case water is a better proton donor than alcohol, or we can say that water is a stronger acid than alcohol. Okay, we may also note that the alkoxide ion, which are O negative, this one alkoxide ion, is a better proton acceptor than hydroxide ion, right? This one, then this, right? this alkoxide ion is a better proton acceptor than hydroxide ion, and this means that the alkoxide are stronger base than hydroxide ion, right? For example, we have seen that in the case of sodium ethoxide, right? This sodium ethoxide is a stronger base than sodium hydroxide. Okay, so I hope you have understood about this, the acidic nature or acidic character of alcohol. Now, one more thing, when we talk about the acidic nature of alcohol, we can say that the acidic nature of alcohol is due to the presence of polar oxygen and hydrogen bond, right? One more fact is that there is an acidic nature of alcohol because of the polar oxygen and hydrogen bond, right? So because oxygen is what, oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen, and therefore what will happen, it will withdraw the shared electron pair between oxygen and hydrogen atom towards itself, right? So as a result, what will happen at that time, um, oxygen hydrogen bond become weak and loses H positive ion, right? It will lose what, H positive ions. Okay, and therefore alcohol will behave as an acid. Okay, but however, when we will see, alcohol are weak acidic, right? And even weaker than water, we have seen previously. Just now we have seen that alcohol is a weak acid and even weaker than water. So this is quite expected because of the electron releasing inductive effect to the alkoxide group. This alkyl group releases electron towards oxygen atom. Okay, and the tendency of oxygen to withdraw electron in oxygen and hydrogen bond towards itself decreases, right? And therefore the release of proton, which is as positive, become difficult. Okay, so but on the other hand, if you will see that there is no electron releasing alkyl group in water, right? So and the electron pair, but it is slightly less in alcohol, right? So thus what we can say, these alcohol are weaker acidic than water, right? So I hope this one you have understood, right? Now next is, we will see reaction with carboxylic acid, or we can say esterification. Okay, esterification, esterification. Okay, so when we talk about the esterification, here alcohol in esterification, what is esterification? If you will see, then in this reaction, alcohol with monocarboxylic group. Okay, we will discuss about this. Alcohol react with monocarboxylic acid. Okay, in presence of concentrated H2SO4 or dry HCl gas as a catalyst to form what, ester. Okay, and this reaction is called what, esterification. And the function of this, what is the function of this H2SO4 here? Here the H2SO4 act as a protonating agent. Okay, as well as a dehydrating agent. Here alcohol will behave, and here H2SO4 will act as a protonating agent as well as dehydrating agent. Okay, one example I will give you here. Suppose we have an acid, suppose RCO and OH. Okay, this is what, this is an acid, right? Carboxylic acid. It is suppose reacting with HOR dash alcohol. Okay, so at that time what it will form, the reaction will be reversible. Okay, and it will form ester. I am writing here RCOO R dash plus H2O will come out from the reaction. Okay, so this reaction is what, this reaction is reversible in nature. Okay, and when we talk about the equilibrium will shift towards the forward direction by removing water as soon as it is formed. Okay, and when we are using HCl instead of this H2SO4, here we are using concentrated H2SO4. Okay, concentrated H2SO4 as a catalyst. Now again, when we are using here HCl, is we are using HCl as a catalyst, at that time this reaction is called Fischer Spire esterification. Okay, so at that time if we will note that the presence of bulk group in alcohol or in acid decreases the rate of esterification. Okay, why it is happening like this? So listen carefully. When we are using HCl gas, okay, as a catalyst, The reaction is called was Fischer spiral reaction, esterification. Okay, so at that time we will notice that the presence of the bulk group, okay, in the alcohol or in the acid decreases the rate of esterification. Okay, why it is happening? Because due to the steric hindrance of the bulk group. Okay, so as a result, what we can say, it is difficult to prepare esters of tertiary alcohol. Thus, the order of reactivity of alcohol in esterification will be primary, secondary, and tertiary, and so on. Like this, it will be CH3OH will be more, will produce a best, will show good esterification, and then CH3, CH2OH. After that, CH3 two times CHOH. After that, CH3 return COH. Why it is happening? Because due to the stirring hindrance in the bulk group, what will happen? It will be difficult to prepare esters of tertiary alcohol. Okay. Now, order of, if we are seeing the order of carboxylic acid, the acid which we are using, so at that time this one will show a better, this one will give a better esterification reaction or esterification than this. Okay, and this one will be more good than this CH, sorry, C C H C O H, and so on, right? So I hope you have understood this, right? Now, next is, according to your syllabus, reaction with reaction with acid anhydride. Okay, or we can say acetylation. Okay, or acyl chloride. So when we are saying the reaction with acyl chloride, at that time what we can say, this reaction is carried out when the alcohol are treated with acid chloride, okay, or acid anhydride in presence of bases like pyridine. We have discussed about this pyridine, right, in the haloalkenes and haloarenes. Bases like pyridine or dimethyl aniline as a catalyst, right? So what will happen at that time? The hydrogen atom of OH group replaces the acid RCO group. Okay, the hydrogen atom of OH replaces the RCO group, forming esters. Okay, we will see one example. One example is this. Suppose we have here CH3. Let me write with different color. Suppose we have here CH3, okay, and here C double bond O. After that, here Cl, and here H, okay, and O, sorry, here this is plus, CH3Cl plus HO, and here is suppose CH2CH3. so this is what, this is called ethanol chloride, right? This is what, this is ethanol chloride, right? Right, it will be like this, CH3 dash, this is 3. Okay, you have noticed that the handwriting is not so good because it is very difficult to write on the screen of a mobile. Okay, so that is why handwriting is like this, CH3, and here C double bond O, okay, and plus Cl. This is what, this is our ethanol chloride. Okay, and if we are using here ethanol, if we are using here ethanol, suppose HO CH3 CH2. Okay, so in presence of pyridine, this one is ethanol chloride and this one is ethanol. So in presence of pyridine, if you are using here pyridine, it will form what, ethanoate, okay, or ethyl acetate, and HCl will come out from here. It will form ethyl ethanoate, which will be CH3 carbon double bond oxygen here, and after that this one O CH2 CH3, and plus HCl will come out from here. Okay, so this reaction is called what, acetylation. Okay, and this reaction is called what? Acetylation reaction. Now if the acid halide or anhydrous used are acetyl chloride or acetate anhydride, the reaction is usually called what? Acetylation. Okay, now which means what? The introduction of acetyl CH3CO, as you can see, in place of CH3CO, OH has come, right? CH3CH group in the alcohol. Now it may be noticed that the reaction with acetyl chloride is carried out in presence of a base. We are using here base, right? This one, pyridine. Okay, pyridine, to neutralize the HCl. Why we are using here pyridine? Pyridine is just used because to neutralize this HCl which is formed here, right? So when the formed during the this HCl will form, this pyridine is used to neutralize the HCl which is formed during the reaction. Okay, and when we talk about the equilibrium will shift towards the forward direction. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, right? So this was reaction with acetyl chloride, okay, or acetylation. Now next we will see reaction with hydrogen halide. Okay, reaction with hydrogen halide. Reaction with hydrogen halide. So when we talk about the reaction of hydrogen halide, alcohol react with hydrogen halide to form what? Haloalkenes, okay, or alkyl halide. And the reactivity order, when you see the order of reactivity, Hi will be more reactive than Br, HBr, which is more reactive than HCl. Why it is like this? Because I is what? I negative. This one, I negative, is a better nucleophile than this Br negative and Cl negative and so on, right? And when we see the reactivity of alcohol, tertiary will be more reactive, after that secondary, after that secondary, after that 1 degree primary. Okay, so this we will see this what is happening here, as we have seen this, right? Previously also I have explained about this, right? Now due to the low reactivity of primary and secondary alcohol, listen carefully, due to the low reactivity of this primary and sorry, due to the low reactivity of this primary and secondary alcohol, okay, HCl with HCl, what will happen? They required some Lewis acid as a catalyst for the reaction. Okay, in case of due to the low reactivity of this primary and the secondary alcohol with HCl, they required what? They required some Lewis acid as a catalyst for the reaction. Okay, and in this reaction we are using what? Anhydrous ZnCl2. Okay, we'll use here anhydrous ZnCl2 is used as a Lewis acid catalyst. Okay, but however you should notice that no such catalyst is needed for the reaction of tertiary alcohol with HCl. If we are reacting tertiary alcohol or 3-degree alcohol with HCl, no catalyst is required. Okay, it will automatically react with one another. Okay, so one example we will see. Suppose we are taking here 1-degree alcohol. Suppose we are taking here CH3 CH2OH. Okay, in presence of HCl. If you are taking here anhydrous ZnCl2, so at that time what it will form? It will form chloroethane, CH3 CH2Cl plus H2O will come out from the reaction. And same thing for 2-degree also. If you are taking 2-degree also alcohol, if you are taking 2-degree alcohol, suppose propane 2-ol, so at that time it will form what? 2-chloropropane and H2O will come out from the reaction. Okay, but again if we are taking 3-degree alcohol, then no, this ZnCl anhydrous ZnCl2 is not required. Okay, and this reaction is also called group process. We have discussed, right? Group process we have discussed in haloalkenes and haloarenes, right? There's the reaction of this primary and secondary alcohol with HCl gases in presence of what? ZnCl2 is also called group method. Okay, so we have learned this, right? And here at that time I have also explained you that the reactivity of the above reaction can be easily understood in terms of mechanisms. So when we have seen the mechanism, I have explained you the mechanism, right? The primary alcohol, what I have told you there, that the primary alcohol will react by SN2 mechanism, whereas the secondary and tertiary alcohol will follow the SN1 mechanism, right? So when it will follow the SN2 mechanism, there will be the and this one haloalkenes or this one halogens will react from the backside. Okay, and if there is an SN1 mechanism, at that time there will be a formation of carbocation, and after the formation of carbocation, there will be a rearrangement and there will be a formation of alkyl halide, right? So we have discussed about this in detail in the haloalkenes and haloares, right? So I hope you have remembered it. Now next we will see the reaction with phosphorus halide, just like reaction with reaction with PCl5 or PCl3 or PBr3, like this. So PBr3, PBr3, like this, right? So in case of this, always remember that this phosphorus halide react with alcohol to form their corresponding haloalkenes. Okay, it is very easy. Suppose we are using here CH3 CH2 OH, and plus we are using here PCl5. So what it will form, you can guess the product, right? You can easily guess the product. The product will be their corresponding haloalkenes, right? So it will be CH3 CH2 Cl, right? And POCl3 will come out from the reaction. POCl3 will come out from the reaction, right? So it is very easy, right? So at the time of preparing the notes, when you will copy the notes, at that time you just refer the book. Okay, because some of the things I have not mentioned here. Okay, so you should refer. It's better if you, when you will make the notes, you should refer the book. Okay, now next is reaction with thionyl chloride, which is SOCl2. Reaction with SOCl2 thionyl chloride. So here on treatment with the thionyl chloride in presence of pyridine, okay, alcohol form chloroalkenes. As you can see, one example I will give you. Suppose we have C2. Suppose we have C2H5OH. Okay, so if it is reacting with SOCl2, okay, at that time it will form what? Ethyl chloride, which is C2H5Cl. Okay, plus HCl will come out from here and SO2 will come out from here. Okay, and this reaction with this thionyl chloride is preferred because by the product SO2 and Cl2 form are gaseous, and it is very easy to remove from the mixture, right? That is why you used to prefer this reaction. Now next is acid dehydration. Okay, so when you talk about the acid dehydration, at that time what we are using here, we are supplying alcohol, or we can say that here when we are heating alcohol with protic acid such as H2SO4 or H3PO4. Let me write here acidic mm, dehydration. Okay, so when we talk about the acidic dehydration, so here what we are reading, when alcohol are heated with a protic acid such as H2SO4 or H3PO4 at 443 Kelvin, they generate what? Dehydrogenated. They get dehydrated to form what? Alkenes. One example I will give you, very good example is there. Suppose we are using here ethanol. Suppose here we are using C2H5OH. Okay, let me write like this so that you can easily understand. Suppose this is a carbon here, and this carbon, here one hydrogen, here one hydrogen, here one hydrogen, and here suppose OH. Okay, here OH, here hydrogen, and here hydrogen. So in this case what we are using, if we are using here H2SO4 or H3PO4, so from there H positive. Okay, from there H positive, what it will do, it will form alkene here. Okay, these two will react, they will form water. Okay, and here this bond will come here, this will come here, so they will form alkene like this. H C double bond CH here, and here will be one hydrogen, and here will be one hydrogen. Okay, so in this way they are forming alkene. So this process is called what? Acidic dehydration. Okay, from this we can make secondary also and tertiary also. Okay, so when we talk about the acid dehydration of alkene, if we talk about the mechanism, so in the mechanism you will see that in the first case there will be a protonation of alcohol. Okay, so we have discussed about this, right? There will be a protonation of alcohol like this: carbon here, hydrogen here, hydrogen here, hydrogen here, suppose carbon here, oxygen, 1 2 3 4, and here hydrogen, and here also hydrogen and hydrogen. So at that time, first of all, there will be a protonation of alcohol. Okay, in presence of H positive, protonation of alcohol will take place. So there plus H positive, so there will be a protonation of alcohol, right? So when there will be a protonation of protonated alcohol will form here. Okay, like this: CH3 CH2 O positive, here H, and one H is here. Like this, protonated alcohol will form. Now next, there will be a formation of, since there will be a protonated alcohol has formed, then there will be a formation of carbocation, right? So now, since there is a formation of carbocation at that time, in the last what I have told you, if in any reaction there is a formation of carbocation, then there will be a rearrangement. Okay, and at last, when they will rearrange, they will form ethane. Okay, so I hope this one also you have understood, right? Now next one is what? Next is oxidation. Okay, so when we talk about the oxidation, from here we can make we can primary alcohol oxidation is what? The oxidation of alcohol involves the formation of carbon oxygen double bond, which with the cleavage of OH and CH bond, just like this. I will give you a simple example here. When you talk about the oxidation, suppose we have like this. So these two bond, this bond and this bond will break, and they will form like this. They will form like this. Okay, so from this method we can, if we are talking about the primary alcohol, so a primary alcohol can easily be oxidized to form first and an aldehyde, and then it will form carboxylic acid. Okay, and both the aldehyde and the acid form contain the same number of carbon atom at the starting alcohol. Okay, means the number of carbon atom will not change. I will give you one example here. Suppose we are taking here R CH2OH. Okay, so if we are oxidizing this in presence of oxygen, it will form what? R dash C double bond O here, and here hydrogen. So this is for this aldehyde, right? And further, if we will oxidize this, further if we are oxidizing this, it will form carboxylic acid, just like R C double bond O, and here OH. So you will see that the number of carbon atom is not changing, the carbon atom is same here, right? So in this way we can make the secondary alcohol also. So when we talk the secondary alcohol, at that time a secondary alcohol is easily oxidized to form ketone and chromic anhydride, which is CrO3, right? Why? Because the ketone maybe, and after that what will happen, we can further oxidize this ketone under a strong condition to form a mixture of acid. Okay, while the ketone contain the same number of carbon atom as the starting alcohol. Okay, and the acid form, which will contain less number of carbon atom. I will give one example for that. For this you can understand. Suppose we are taking here isopropyl alcohol. Okay, suppose we are taking here isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen or CH3. So at that time, if you will oxidize this, so first of all it will form acetone, which will be C double bond O, like this, CH3, here also CH3. Okay, now again if you will further oxidize this, okay, it will form acetic acid, which is CH3 COOH. Okay, and further CO2 and H2O will come out from the reaction. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, right? Now again, if you are talking about the 3-degree tertiary alcohol, so tertiary alcohol is very difficult to oxidize in neutral or alkaline KMnO4 solution. Okay, we have discussed about this, right? So this tertiary alcohol is very difficult to oxidize in neutral or alkaline KMnO4 solution, right? Because they do not have hydrogen on carbon bearing OH group, right? So however, we can treat with an acidic oxidizing agent, just like K2Cr2O7 or H2SO4 or KMnO4 or H2SO4. If we are using this, we have discussed this also, right? So under a very strong condition, elevated temperature, at that time what will happen, the cleavage of various carbon carbon bond will take place, and as a result what will happen, the mixture of ketone and carboxylic acid will form. Okay, now but both the ketone and the acid contains less number of carbon atom than the starting alcohol. Okay, we have discussed about this, right? And the oxidation occur will be via alkene formation through dehydration of alcohol under the acidic condition. Okay, so I can give you one example. If we are taking here carbon OH, CH3 here, CH3 here, here also CH3, suppose if we are using here H positive or heat in presence of H2O, at that time it will form 2 methyl prop 2-ene. Okay, so 2 methyl prop 2-ene. Okay, and after that which will be further oxidized to form it will form acetone, which will be like this. It will form acetone, and in presence of HCOOH, if you will further heat, if you will further oxidize in presence of this, it will form CO2 and H2. Okay, now the acetone which has formed here, the acetone which has formed here the acetone which has formed here will further oxidize or heat in presence of heat. If we are heating this, it will form what? Acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, and plus formic acid, which has COOH. So I hope you have understood this, right? So this was all. One more thing is what? Dehydrogenation. So when we talk about the dehydrogenation, last chemical property of dehydrogenation. So when we talk about the dehydrogenation, so here the dehydrogenation of alcohol is achieved when the vapor of alcohol is passed over a copper heated at around 573 Kelvin. Okay, so here the primary and secondary alcohol get easily dehydrogenated. Okay, to form aldehyde and ketone, but when we talk about the tertiary alcohol, it get dehydrated, loses when it get dehydrated, it will lose water molecule under the reaction condition to alkenes. Okay, so I will give one example for this also. So one example, if we are taking here primary alcohol, suppose we are taking here primary alcohol, carbon, hydrogen, CH3, here hydrogen again, here O, here hydrogen. So what will happen, these two hydrogen will combine. Okay, in presence of Cu at 573 Kelvin, it will form aldehyde, which will be CH3 C double bond O plus here hydrogen and plus H2 will come out from the reaction. Okay, now again, when we are, what I have told you, when we are using a tertiary alcohol, it get dehydrated. When it will get dehydrated, it will lose water, not hydrogen. Okay, when we are taking here tertiary alcohol, let me take the example here. Suppose I have CH3 here, here again CH3, here again CH3, and here suppose OH. Okay, so in presence of Cu at 573 Kelvin, it is not forming hydrogen. Okay, remember this one, it will not form hydrogen, it will form, right, CH3 C double bond CH2. Okay, and here again CH3, this is what, 2 methyl propane, and plus H2O will come out from the reaction. Okay, H2O will come out reaction. Okay, so what we have seen, dehydrogenation of alkane is achieved when the vapor of alcohol is passed through a copper, as we have seen, around 573 Kelvin. Here primary and secondary alcohol will get easily dehydrogenated to form what, alcohol and aldehydes and ketone. But when we are taking, when hydrogen gas will come out from the reaction, but when we are taking here tertiary alcohol, it will get dehydrogenated, but it will lose water, not hydrogen. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the chemical property of alcohol, right? So keep up to this. In the next class we will start phenols. Till that, thank you.